We started talking, and it evolved, 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 and now we are bosom buddies. I see her, talk to her sometimes more than I talk to my wife because we are all on this journey together to becoming the best version of ourselves, and it's because the vision of this woman who has a PhD in being a change agent. That's why we call her the professor of change. Get on your feet, Kansas City, and let's welcome the professor of change, Brenda Ringwood. Oh, yeah, come on, come on. Yeah, give it up, give it up. Brenda Ringwood.
Hit me with your best shot. We've been hit this year. We've been hit many years, actually. But that's okay, because you got to keep going, because life brings hits. Life brings hits. I was an entrepreneur. I'm still an entrepreneur. I've actually been an entrepreneur since high school. I have never had a job outside of high school working for somebody else. I am in sales. You guys are a testament to that. Weren't you all sold? There's a guy in the back room. Brian Ramey, stand up, please. We kick some butt in sales in corporate America. And I'm going to talk about that today because Lauren just talked about setting the table of purpose. Purpose. And you know, there's things in life that mess with you. And life gets messy. And for those of you who don't know, I used to own a janitorial service. 300 employees, thousands of W-2s because of the turnover. Nightmare. But we were always cleaning up messes. Other people's messes. And I saw something on TikTok or Facebook, I don't know, some social media, there's so much out there, where this guy says, do I need to quit smoking pot I'm just saying, to come to know Christ? And he said, do you clean up before you take a shower? Do you clean up before you take a bath? We clean the house before the janitor comes, though, right? I needed to clean up my life. And I'm going to equate this to waxing the floors. It's a process. And when you wax a floor, when you first walk in, actually the floor looks pretty good. It might be shiny in some areas and dull in others. But when you really start to look, you see crevices and cracks and dirt. And that buffing that people just keep doing, it's just grinding that in. And that's your life. And sometimes we have to clean it up. Thank goodness we don't have to clean it up to go to our Maker. But you do need to clean it up for yourself and for your family. And that's a process. Has anybody in here ever stripped a floor? It's messy, right? It's slick. You got to get down on your hands and knees with a putty knife, and you got to get in those corners, right? You got to get down, you got to scrape, and you got to come back with that buffer. You got to get out of the way of the cord. Hey, I had my practice using a cord, getting it out of the way when cordless mics came out. I knew how to work that cord because I was buffing floors. Did you also know that when you shine a floor, the buffer brings the heat? It spins and spins, and those RPMs are so high that it melts that top layer of wax, and it fills in all those cracks. But did you clean it? The only way to truly clean up your life is to evaluate where you are, look inside those crevices, and see where change is needed. Change is needed, and if you don't know you need it, then your life's going to always be a mess. And the first thing you need to look at is, where does the housekeeping need to happen? Sometimes it starts with relationships that you need to get rid of. Because if they're dragging you down, you can't focus on you to clean up what you need to do to make yourself better. You might love that person, but does that make sense? You got to clear the obstacles out of the way. When you strip a floor, you have to put stripper down. That stripper by itself doesn't work. You have to activate it with water. That H2O activates that stripper, and it turns that wax into gunk, and it's sticky. And you got to hurry up, because if it dries, you got another bigger mess. So you got to suck all that up while it's still wet. And now your floor really looks bad. It's been uncovered. You have uncovered the raw you. Now you can see the crevices, the scratches, the pivots, the dips, the cracks. You see all of it. It's raw. And instead of saying, there's no way I'm going to get this done, as the stepologist says, it's one step at a time, one day at a time, one relationship at a time, and you will get there. And then you're going to put back that wax on that floor. Each coat is new, and it's shiny, and it's beautiful, because through it now you see the cleaned scratches, the cleaned breaks, because that's not going to go away. Those are your battle wounds. But they've been cleaned and they've been healed. Izzy talks about intentional healing. She talks about living an intentional life. Change is intentional. If you do not use intentional training to change your life, and it's training, it's just temporary. Temporary. We are looking for permanent success. Permanent success. The other thing, too, is now we have this great coat of wax on the floor. But guess what? It's going to get dull. It's eventually going to need to be cleaned again, because you are always having to reevaluate yourself. So then I had to say, what kind of a person am I? What do you see here? Cactus. What kind of cactus? Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, this thing in me is already bought. Getting it in the car, getting it here, getting it in the room. It hurts. But it's a cactus. So we're going to pretend this is a person. And what is this one? It's also a cactus. So what does this one do? What else does it do? But it's got some thorns on it too. Did you know how big one of these can get? You know how big one of those can get? Uh-huh. So we have two cactuses. Represents two different types of people. The cactus are the people. The type is the personality. Are you the prickly person? Are you always rubbing people the wrong way? Yeah, you are, Ed. Are you sticking to people's craw? Is that the person you want to be? Or do you want to be the person that's helpful, that soothes, that loves? Because you can still stand tall and be as big as you want to be when you are this person. How many of you have worked with somebody like this? Do you want to be that person? And how easy is it to work with somebody like this? Are they both strong? Do they both serve the purpose? And what happens when you remove the personality? You see the person. You see the people behind the personality. Personality is in you, but you can work on changing it. You can work on having the life you want with the people you love and the way that you want to have it. I had to learn that the hard way. I was always living my life for other people, doing what they thought I needed, and I was doing it. I was doing what they thought I needed. I was listening to everybody, except for one person. When my dad said, yeah, right. That comment came when I was 19 years old. He says, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to start a cleaning business. And he said, yeah, right. He did. He did. But I had never given him a reason to say, go girl. He saw that because I never followed through. He saw this and not that. My word was not any good, so I was rubbing people the wrong way. When you stand in integrity and you stand in what you believe in and you stand in your faith, this is who you become. So I want you to look at yourselves and say, who am I? And where do I need to remove those coats so that I can clean my life? So that I can clean my life. It's not a fun process. And it's not a daily change. It is a lifelong change. You're not going to do it today and do it tomorrow and do it next week. You got to do it till the day you die. It is a lifestyle change. You have to make the commitment to yourself. Now, Sundays is always a smaller crowd, but this is the best day because you guys are the ones that are committed. You guys are the ones who want to change your life. That's what becoming the best you is all about. It is about changing your life, but you got to take the first step. If you don't take that step, it's never going to happen. And guess whose fault that is? Look in the mirror. It is your fault. No one can stop you but you. Who's stopping you? Who's stopping you? What are you going to do about it? Chuck Doyle says, what are you doing for yourself? Before you can be this person in everybody's life, you have to get rid of this. You have to change. You're still a cactus. You're still a person. That can turn into this. Now, it's just an analogy. Can't really happen. But it's a mindset. It is a shift. It is a lifelong journey. I love when Regina Platt says, I'm not there, and I don't ever want to get there. Because when I get there, then what? I'm going to keep moving that goalpost. I'm going to keep moving. I don't ever want to get there because then I'm done. Are you there yet? It's about where you're going and what you're doing with your life. What are you going to do? What legacy are you living? And I say living, not leaving, because you got to have it before you can leave it. What legacy are you living? I want you all to think about that. Lauren said, setting the table on purpose. Sometimes that means 1. Sometimes it means 10. Sometimes it means 200. And sometimes it means just a half a table. Are you setting that table? Are you loving the people in your life? Because let me tell you, don't waste the time on the ones that don't want you in their life. It's a waste. Be with the ones who want to be with you. And I guarantee you, you will find purpose. I guarantee you, you will love your life. And it's not about money, because I can successfully wash the dishes. It's not about religion, because I religiously go to work. It is about commitment. It is about consistency. And I think Saccone talked about that yesterday, did he not? You guys need to clap for yourselves because you are committed. You are here. You are taking those steps to make a difference in your life. You are taking time out of your busy schedules because you know that what you need is important. So let's go out and change lives, guys. Love you all.